From the Carl Chevrolet Studios in West Des Moines, welcome to Iowa Live. I am Lou, and it is time to visit with a familiar face on this program. Taylor Parker is here, president of Concept by Iowa Hearing, because hearing is so vitally important to your health. And we're going to talk about something that you might not have associated with hearing loss. Good to see you, sir.
Great to see you. Great to be back.
Yeah, great. And we're going to be talking about something that people might not have been aware of when it comes to hearing loss, and especially when people are getting older and falls. Explain what we're talking about.
So, understanding how hearing works, what happens, ears conduct sound, brain processes. Well, if the brain's not getting the proper signal, the brain gets overloaded and has to pull from other areas. Two areas it pulls from are cognitive, which is what we've talked about dementia before, and it also from balance and gait. So those two areas get robbed first when the brain's trying to process what the ears are sending it with an untreated hearing loss.
Okay, so they're trying to understand what's going on hearing-wise. They're not getting that information, so it's reaching out for other aspects.
So it's just pulling the resources from other areas. So it's taking those resources that are used for cognitive and balance and gait and using them, pulling them over to focus on hearing loss.
I never heard of that
Yeah,
before.
and even a mild hearing loss triples the risk of falling. And that's not this isn't an age thing at this point.
Okay.
So what we're talking about right now isn't an age thing. It's, for even a mild hearing loss, triples the risk of falling. Every 10 decibels your hearing loss goes down, deteriorates, it increases that risk by 140%.
Oh my goodness.
So it's exponential when we talk about, when someone says, I have a mild hearing loss. Well, that triples the risk of falling. Over the age of 65, falling is the leading cause of accidental deaths and hospitalizations. So it's a serious issue. When I get done here, I'm going to get up from my chair and I'm going to walk away. I don't think about getting up and walking. It's just it's what we do. Well, if you have an untreated hearing loss and now you have this issue, if you've noticed anyone that gets up and they have a wobble to them,
right?
That's what this is. That's
really?
their brain isn't processing that information, and it's causing that balance issue. So then we run into, when you're at home by yourself, you have a pet, you have spatial issues, not understanding what's maybe around you, bump into something, fall over. We used to, not too long ago, when someone would fall and break a hip, it was considered at that point almost a death sentence.
Right.
Now they've improved the surgery and made those things, but it still leads to hospitalization and accidental death for over the age of 65.
Now, just to wrap your head around this, about things like this that could happen, think about in case somebody may have had, and this is not a permanent hearing loss, but in case you have an infection or something in your ear, temporary one, think about if you ever got up quickly when you had that and you're unstable, like you just mentioned. That never even, I never even thought about that before.
Yeah, so that's a temporary issue. Now if you take someone who has, let's say they've had a hearing loss for 5 to 7 years or even longer that they haven't treated, that is a daily occurrence for them. They have to almost think about getting up from chairs and getting up from things knowing that I'm going to be unstable, that they have to brace themselves in order to get that initial step up to, brace themselves and feel comfortable.
About what percentage of hearing loss do people are affected before they finally say, hey, something is going on?
It's really not a percentage. The national average is 5 to 7 years after someone initially gets their hearing checked to find out they have a hearing loss before they actually treat it. So if you came in today and we tested you and we said, okay, you have a hearing loss, whatever degree it is. We said you had a hearing loss and you said, I need to think about it. You go home, the national average is you're going to wait 5 to 7 years to actually come back and treat your hearing loss. And when you came in, odds are that wasn't the day you developed your hearing loss. You've had a hearing loss for 3, 5, 7 years prior to that. So most people are waiting anywhere from 7 to 20 years to actually treat their hearing loss. And a lot of things are going on in that time frame that we really don't understand. Everyone wants to take hearing loss and put it over here on the side. That, I'll do it when I get older. I'll do it later. I'm getting by. I'm doing okay. But not understanding what's happening on a daily basis to our brain because we're not treating our hearing.
Right. Now, maybe somebody has experienced some of the things that we've talked about here today.
Yeah.
They want to come in and get a hearing test. You have a bunch of locations around the state of Iowa.
We've got 15 locations around the state. It's a free hearing screening. So and that's the important thing. It's a free hearing screening. at least get the baseline. But if you have a hearing loss, you need to start this process because of the not even long-term effects, some of the short-term effects of balance and gait, or big
Don't
pieces.
take any chances. Absolutely do not take any chances. IowaHearing.com. That's the easiest thing you can do.
Yes.
Go to that site and you can find a location near you.
And you can book it online even. You can book your hearing test right through our website.
Yeah, this is something you really want to do, and if you've experienced this, or you've seen one of your relatives that are experiencing this is something you need to take care of.
100%. If you have a loved one, best thing to do is just work with them. Tell them you'll come with them to the test. We always encourage you to bring someone with you. And just let them know that it's a common condition. 70% of the individuals over the age of 75 have a hearing loss. So it's a very common issue, but we need to start the treatment process and not waiting.
It's a common issue that can be corrected and for your health.
100%.
Take care of it. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
All right.
Thanks.